see when two undefeated champions and fighters of that caliber fight each other, you see how the fans respond. So we really want to take our hats off to Eddie and his whole staff at Matchroom, and thank all the fans that showed up to the O2, all the countries, all the TV stations that televised it around the world, over 100 countries, especially HBO, RTL in Germany, and naturally Sky in the UK. It was just a tremendous effort promotionally from all the media. Eddie, you want to say a few words?
No, just thanks Tom and Gennady, especially and Abel, and all of the team, and Oleg of course, and Max. You know, I felt that it was a great fight, a great occasion. I hope Gennady enjoyed the atmosphere, the walk-ons, the energy of British fights. Very proud of Kell. Thought he put up a great fight. I thought that although the crowd always want to see a duel to the end, I thought Dominic Ingle did a great job. He's gone to hospital. I think he's broken his eye socket, but he's okay. And you know, I think Kell has a huge future in the sport of boxing. You know, I think if he was a middleweight stepping up to fight Gennady Golovkin, then I think you know, the effort would have been great. But the fact that he came up, you know, 13 pounds to take on Gennady Golovkin, I think says a lot about Kell Brook, and I think he's proved he has a good chin as well. Because although Gennady hurt him in the first round, the second round was epic, and the third round was just as good, and the fourth round was unbelievable. And I wish we could have had a few more rounds. But thank you all for making this a huge event, and I'm sure you've got questions for Abel and Gennady.
Abel, and I mean, there was rumors that that Triple G was kind of under the weather. Was it jet lag? Was it what was the situation with Triple G?
I don't really know how those rumors came out. I think it was because the media wanted to do some interviews after the press conference. Gennady had gone home to the hotel, and they thought he wasn't feeling well. And so I think that it just kind of like snowballed from there. So, you know, Gennady's a professional. Abel will tell you he's done this so many times, both as an amateur and now as a professional, that it doesn't matter where he fights, as long as we can put someone in the ring with him. And again, we have to take our hats off to Kell Brook, because the way Kell fought, as Eddie mentioned, that second round was epic. It just it was a tremendous round. The way they were, you know, just going back and forth, and how Kell was able to land some shots on Gennady. And you know, Abel can tell you some more about you know, just being here in London and the final week of preparation for the fight.
I think after the press conference, he did some interviews, and then they took him back to the hotel. On weigh-in day, it took us an hour and 40 minutes to get to the weigh-in from the hotel, and it was stop and go through city traffic, and I think it pissed him off a little bit. And he was at the point now where he just wants to fight. I think Paulie Malignaggi did an interview, understanding from a fighter's perspective what it's like to be trying to make weight. And then to have that ride and that long wait, he just wanted to go back to the hotel and do his thing.
Dan?
At what point in the fight did you feel like you had taken Kell Brook's best punch, and that his power was not going to be any detriment to you, that you could go to him and just unload your punches the way it seemed you did most of the fight?
Well, I don't feel power. I feel very good speed. Kell speed and distance. You know, Kell, he's a very good fighter. You know, after second round, after first round, I feel I'm stronger a little bit. You know, after second round, I want like not boxing. You know, I'm like crazy. You know, like I want like street fight. I promise bring dramatic show, and I want Brock. You know, because I believe, I feel he's a very good fighter. And he's not strong. He's not middleweight. No, okay, maybe he's strong, he looks good, he looks strong. Not first fight. No, he needs time. And respect Kell, his team. Thank you very much for promotions, Eddie. You know, just amazing atmosphere. Today I'm very enjoying.
So did any of the shots he did get you clean?
No.
Most of your opponents good. But you did kind of brush off.
No, it's a little bit for me. He punched me just, and I know too much punches. You know, just. I don't feel power. I said, just come on. Just come on more. You know, I want more.
Gennady,
I'm crazy.
does Kell rank among your toughest opponents? Is he one of the toughest you fought?
he's champion. Seriously, Kell, he is a good fighter and he's undefeated. You know, different power, different size, and I feel this. And sometimes, like, okay, Steven, so Lemieux, has more power, not same class boxing IQ. Kell, he's a good fighter. I don't feel, right now it's different. He's more boxers I want, more street fight.
Were you surprised when he threw in the towel?
I think he's smart. Respect his corner, you know, respect his corner, his coach, because, you know, seriously, last round he feels very bad. He can breathe, he can move, and he's finished. I think he's smart. Respect his corner.
Tom and Adrian, was there ever a moment when you were worried when Brook started to fight back?
You know, I was worried that they weren't going to stop him. I saw you get seriously hurt in the last round, the last 20 seconds when you just see the towel waving. You could go back and look at the tape. You got caught with probably 8, 9 clean punches. They may not have been devastating punches, but those are the kind of punches that hurt you, that hurt you permanently. So that's what I was worried about. I was worried that they were going to be too brave. Kell was a warrior and a brave warrior. He's not going to give up. We have to be smart in the corner. We have to be smarter. We can't let the 20,000 coaches in the audience dictate what happens to our fighter. And Dom did the right thing.
Gennady, who do you want to fight next? What's your next fight?
No, I'm open for everything. My goals are all the belts, the middleweight division. I want unification fight. Billy Joe Sanders, you know.
Would you come back here to fight someone?
Absolutely, I love it. I love it. The atmosphere, I love it. Huge fan in London. Absolutely.
We tried to make that fight here in the UK before we even had discussions with Eddie, and didn't go very far. So hopefully, when Billy Joe, Eddie sees the reaction that he's gotten here in the UK, and that, from what I understand, the Sky box office did very well tonight, and you know, maybe he'll have more courage, or not courage, but more incentive, I guess is a better word, more incentive to actually get in the ring. But you never know. Like Gennady says, he's open to fight anyone, and whoever's out there. Gennady always makes a great fight. We understand the WBA is going to order the mandatory with Jacobs. Jacobs just fought on Saturday, so that would be a great fight. We have a lot of respect for Danny Jacobs. Hopefully, we can make that fight.
Eddie, better numbers than Joshua White?
Yes.
Eddie, there was always going to be a big ask for Kell tonight. Is there any sense that perhaps it wasn't the right thing to do since the fight's finished?
No, we had the same problem at 147 pounds that Gennady has at 160 pounds. Honestly, no one wanted to fight him. You know, it's either pay us, you know, small name fighters pay us, you know, millions of dollars to come. That's why we had to pay a big name fighter to come, because at least we know it's good business. You know, at welterweight, you look at the division, who is good business? Furman, you know, Porter, Kell's already beaten him. Danny Garcia doesn't want to move. That Adrian Brown is in prison. Like, what, you know, so, and then you look at light middleweight, you've got Canelo's fighting Liam Smith, you know, Canelo's running from him. I mean, it's like, not being funny, it's none of my business, but as a fan, I want to see Gennady Golovkin against Canelo. It's the biggest fight in world boxing. How can you ignore that fight and vacate your belt? You know. But anyway, that's another story. That's for them to worry about. But for Kell, like no, it was a very, very bold move. And Abel's right. You know, it was a great line we're going to use myself. You can't let 20,000 people, you know, work the corner, because Dominic Ingle's going to get a lot of criticism. But you know, Kell's in hospital now. You know, he could be out for a couple of months. But you know, Peter Nelson's already come up to me and said, you know, we need to talk about Kell Brook, and that was part of the plan. It was to broaden the brand of Kell Brook internationally. We always knew he was good enough to compete with Gennady Golovkin. We hoped he'd win. But whatever happened, we knew he would compete, and he did compete. So actually, I think it was a very smart move. But thank you.
Gennady, would you be still interested in fighting Chris Eubank Jr. if that came up?
First of all, Billy Joe Sanders, Canelo.
What
It
about
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Seriously.
What about if there's no one in the middleweight? Will you move up weights to fight someone in different weights?
I have a dream. I have a dream. My goal is all the belts in the middleweight division. Awesome. Yes. Seriously.
Yeah, I can answer that from a promotional standpoint. If we can't get the unification fight, if we can't get another top name, and I told Eddie, James DeGale fight would be a great fight over here. We tried to make Carl Froch fight a while ago. That would be a great fight. I keep telling him, bring Carl in the locker room to congratulate him. No, Carl was on commentating at Sky, and there's Ramirez is undefeated. He's the WBO champion at 168 pounds. So those are all great fights. Naturally, his focus is on the middleweight division. If we can't make the unification fight, we can't make a great fight at middleweight, and one of the super middleweights decide to fight him. I mean, look, Andre Ward moved out of the middleweight division because there weren't any big fights for him. So he's fighting now Kovalev. So if he moved out, it wasn't big fights for him there. Although I know a lot of people want to see him tested against bigger fighters, and if the opportunity presents itself, if it's a big fight like tonight's promotion, certainly that's something that we would definitely put together.
Would you fight Jacobs this year, or is he not take over now to 2017?
According to Gennady, he wants to fight as soon as possible. So, we'll start the negotiations with Jacobs and see how far we get. Just because the WBA orders it doesn't mean he's going to take the fight. Doesn't mean we can make the fight. The WBC mandated Canelo. So, just because he has mandatory obligations or in a mandatory position doesn't mean we can actually make the fight. So we'll see how that progresses, and if that doesn't go, if we can't make that fight, then certainly, like you said, a unification fight would be at the top of the list.
Gennady, do you feel like you're ever going to get this fight with Canelo? Do you think it might eventually happen, whether it's in a year or 2 years? Do you think eventually in your career you will get Canelo in the ring?
I hope it. In the future. Maybe after today, he's ready. I hope. Seriously. I want this fight.
Just go back to your question when you said were we nervous when he was getting hit. I was sitting next to Eddie, and Eddie was getting excited when he was getting hit. For me, as a promoter, naturally, Abel is much more calm and collected in the corner. But Kell Brook was hitting him clean. He was hitting him with uppercuts. He was hitting him with a lot of combinations. And for me, it's never great to see him get hit clean like that. But at the same time, I'm sure a lot of fighters saw that and said, well, if Kell Brook can do it, maybe I can do it. And maybe that'll give him some courage now to actually sign a contract. So it's a double-edged sword. If Gennady is so dominant, nobody wants to fight him. It just makes it even more impossible to make a fight. So it's definitely a two-way street.
Gennady, at 34, have we seen the best of you yet, or are you still improving?
Every day experience. Every day experience. Today, respect Kell. He's a huge fighter. This is my experience today. Okay, this is not perfect fight for me. Like a sparring. I want more. I think it's very serious business. This is boxing. 12 rounds. I know my style. I know my power. Thank my coach, Los Angeles. It's profit style. 12 rounds.
Michelle?
Gennady, how would you rate Kell Brook's power?
I don't know. Oh, he's a good fighter. Very technical. Different style. Because today I'm like crazy, like street fight. It doesn't matter. Just I want. I show him. Just come on, more. Beat me. Just come on. Let's go. Let's do it.
So did any of his punches sting at all?
I forgot. No, I don't know. I forgot. Yeah, you know, this is boxing, Michelle. Of course, he beat me every round.
Good. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks again for coming out.
So
and-
make sure you download the Behind the Gloves app. It's free and it features really cool stuff like a fight calendar that reminds you of all the upcoming fights, and it allows for you to, with one click, to remind yourself directly to your phone. And it also features 24/7 breaking news that's going on in boxing. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that and subscribe to this channel.